Live streaming is on.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Max Memory Brain Training Program. It's 6 p.m. and we are going to start now. Yeah. So this is the title of the memory the seminar, the Genius Memory Seminar, and aim is to help you to unlock your photographic memory, right? So please, if you are joining us, kindly mute your microphone so that we don't have interruptions and interferences as we are speaking, and so that everybody will be able to hear us clearly, all right, including you. Okay, you're welcome. So, before we start, I have a gift that I'm going to give you at the end, and my aim is to make this talk about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, 20 to 30 minutes talk, and we'll conclude. So, before we pro- before we proceed, let's do a 1 minute brain relaxation exercise because it's very important for you to get in the mood. Okay, get in the proper mood for activities. Okay, so just close your eyes, close your eyes, and the reason why you close your eyes is because when you close your eyes, you shut out the world, and it's just you now and your mind. It's you and your brain, okay, interacting with each other. So when you close your eyes, um, you think of a very calm place. I don't know what it is for you. Whatever calm place, whatever place that you know that is very quiet. Maybe it's your room. Maybe it's somewhere. Maybe it's a beach. Okay, very quiet place. There's the wind blowing, and you can hear only the sounds of the birds chirping and the sounds of the water. Okay, the waves of the ocean. Okay, and that brings you calmness and that brings you inner peace. Okay, so apart from that, we are going to do a breathing exercise. So um, you breathe in, breathe in, draw the breath till you get to the very end of your chest. Okay, now breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Okay, breathe in again, breathe in, breathe in. Now breathe out, breathe out. Okay, as you breathe out, you can feel all the negative energy, negativity, pain, suffering, anger, frustration, all of them are leaving your body as you breathe out. And as you breathe in now, you're going to take in fresh air. You're going to take in positivity, blessings, goodness, and mercies. Okay, so let's breathe in the final time. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, hold it for 1 second. Now, breathe out. Okay, so some of you choke, Abby. Some of you want choke you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with this exercise, you're now in a calm state, and what we call this state is the alpha waves. Okay, and there are three types of consciousness. There is the normal awake consciousness, like when you are doing your daily activities, you have your normal awake consciousness. There's the sleep consciousness, like when you are sleeping, okay, when you are dreaming and all that, that's sleep consciousness. Okay, then there is the super awake consciousness, which is the one I'm highlighting here currently. And the super awake consciousness is very important because it's the state that when you are more likely to get great ideas, you are more likely to function, and you are more likely to store memories. Okay, and one of the ways of getting into this super awake consciousness is through this relaxation exercise that we just did now. Okay, and it's very important for you before you do any academic activities. Try and relax, put yourself in a state of super awake alpha waves before you proceed. So I'm going to share a demo with you from the Max Memory app. And the purpose of this demo is to give you some words, okay, to try to recall. I will ask you for these words at the end of this seminar, okay? So let's see how many of them you can remember correctly. So I'm going to share my screen to show the memory game. Okay, so this is the screen of the memory game. Okay, so let's go to level one. Okay, so the essence of this game actually is to help you to memorize. Okay, is like an activity. You can use it to memorize words, books, okay, your faces, names, numbers, dates. So the one we want to do now is how to memorize words. So I'm going to give you a list of words in the level one from 1 to 10 words for you to remember. Number one is Corolla. Number two is Fang. Number three is Biscuits. Number four is Adidas. Number five is Bingo. Number six is Mask. Number seven is Shirt. Number eight is Tissue. Number nine is Boniface. Number 10 is Friends. Okay, so we'll go back to our normal screen. Okay, let me introduce myself for some of you that don't know me. My name is Dr. George. I am the founder of Clinic and also the creator of the Mass Memory Brain Training Program. And I'll try to talk about some of the things that I did. I finished as the best graduating student of medicine in University of Nigeria, Soka, in 2014. I'm a medical doctor. Currently, I'm not in Nigeria. Then I also develop apps and web apps and all that. Okay, and this I taught myself. Okay, when you learn this memory mechanics, you can teach yourself anything, any area of life you want to go into. You teach yourself. Okay, then I'm also into entrepreneurship. I do businesses. Then I'm the founder of Air Clinic, which essentially is a platform that doctors can use to pass exams. Okay, postgraduate doctors can use to pass their exams. Then, of course, this math memory brain training program. And part of the reason why I created this program was difficulties that I had as a student. Okay, difficulties that I had as a student trying to, memorize, and the improvement that I got after I figured this out. Okay, so this is my award, certificate of excellence from University of Nigeria, best graduating student. And this is one of my apps on Google Play Store, the Clinic app, to help doctors pass exams. And this is a testimonial from someone that I have tutored in the past and people that have helped to pass exams and improve their memories. These are other apps that I have on the Play Store, including IELTS app, this Max Memory app I was talking about, Stroke Scores app, and other stuff. So this is me, and the reason why I'm showing you this picture is to show you what is possible. Okay, and one thing about life is that change is constant, and that change can either be positive change or negative change. You know how Buhari came now, and Buhari was promising, I will bring a change, I will bring a change, but he did not specify what type of change he was going to bring. He ended up bringing a negative change, right? That's the same thing that happens in your life. Okay, you are going to tell yourself, do I want positive change or do I want negative change? Okay, there are some people that you were on the same level with, okay, at some point in life, that you are higher than right now, okay, that you are doing much better than at this point in time, okay, and that is positive change. All right, and that's what happens when you know where you're going and what you want to achieve in your life. Then this is me as well. I met my wife in school. This is my wife, and you know, and some of these things happened because I was able to combine academics with good and great social life. Because some people, all they know is when they want to, do well in academics, they now focus solely on academics. They become triangular students. Okay, they don't do any other stuff, and that's not what I want for my life, and that's also not what I want for you. Okay, and that's the reason why I'm talking about photographic memory. Photographic memory is being able to pick something, read it once, and understand it, and learn it forever. You will never forget it again, and it stays with you for life. So this is me when I was traveling out of the country. So some of the things, how did I become an A+ student? Okay, basically I went from someone that almost failed an exam, to finishing the best in my class. Okay. In fact, the first year result, some of the people that saw my first year result did not believe the final year results. Okay. So that's what happens when you are determined, when you want change, okay, when you learn some of the things I'm going to teach you. All right. So first of all is mindset. You need to start with mindset. Every good thing that happens in this life starts with the mind. Okay, every single thing you are seeing in this world right now started with somebody's mind. The laptop I'm using right now started with somebody's mind. Bill Gates' mind. Okay, everything, the phone you are using, the Apple phone you are using started with the mind of Steve Jobs. Okay, the which other thing? Infinix is even a Nigerian guy that founded Infinix and Techno, the techno phones that some of you use. Anything you can imagine at all, phones, watches, anything. And of course, the world itself started from the mind of God, because we believe that we are made in the image and likeness of God. So if God is a creator, we too we are creators. You understand that, right? So the same way God is a creator, we too we are creators. So anything you want to achieve in this life, it starts from your mind, and you must ask yourself why am I doing this? If you're a student, I put it on my WhatsApp status for those of you that saved my number. You would have seen it where I said that if you're a student, one of the things that you can do for yourself is to ask yourself why. If you're able to answer that question, you have solved like 50% of your problem. Why am I doing this? Okay, why am I studying this course? Whatever course it is you're studying, whatever book you want to read that you want to remember, ask yourself, why should I remember this? Okay, and once I learned that, every other thing started flowing. Okay, then goal setting. You must set goals. One of the things I realized in my final year, when I went back to look at my archives of books, my notes, I found out that I wrote down somewhere that I wanted to be. By then, it wasn't clear because I wasn't even performing well in class, but I wrote it down as one of my goals that I wanted to be the best graduating student. And you need to write down things, because when you write it down, it's from your mouth to God's ears, right? And anything that is written down, so shall it be. Okay? Apart from saying it with your mouth, write it down. It makes it very clear. The meaning of SMART means that your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable. okay, and time bound. So you put a time to it that I want to finish this book in 1 week. That's your goal. You've made it specific, you've made it measurable, you've made it achievable, you put a time to it. Okay, that's then also time management. Before this lecture started, before this seminar started, I was discussing this with some other students that were here about the 2080 rule, okay, and the fact that everything that you want to do, okay, 80% of the results will come from just 20% of the effort. So your aim in life should be to identify that 20% where you will do just 20% of the work and you'll be getting 80% of the results. The other 80% of the work that you did is just a waste of time. Okay, the other 80% of all the things that you've been doing are just waste of time, and it's only that 120% of the work that you did that gave you 80% of the results. And that's really how a lot of things plays out. And one thing you have to realize about time is that um, it's called Parkinson's law. It states that work expands with the amount of time allocated to it. Okay, so if you say I'm going to finish this in 1 day, you will finish it in that 1 day. If you say I'm going to finish this in 1 month, that same work, it will expand and meet up with you for that 1 month. If you say I'm going to finish it in 3 months, it will expand the same work, the same amount of work, but it's still the same you that will finish it. Let's say you have exam tomorrow, you finish that same thing very quickly because now you have a target, right? So it's always good to give yourself a target. So the final thing is methodology. I discovered that there are three different ways that common people commonly, try to remember stuff by rote. That means you are just reading it. You're not even applying any technique. You just read it and you expect to remember it. And really, that may work as maybe when you're in primary school because what they are teaching you is just basic ABCD. When you're in nursery and primary school, they're teaching you basic things, okay, that you can easily remember by rote. You don't need to apply any techniques. You don't need to do anything special. You just remember it, right? They told you that one of the fruits is mango. Obi is a boy. You will remember it now. Is by rote. Okay, it's very easy. But when you get to secondary school, you find out that work is getting more complex, right? Then you get to the university, you find out that work is getting much more complex. Maybe you go for masters, PhD. You find out that work is even gets much more complex. Then if you are outside school, you want to read books. Okay, what they may give you in the books may be complex as well. All right, so you need to be able to apply something more than just the rote. You cannot depend on your rote to just remember stuff. Your rote is not enough at that point. Your rote will just remember only a tiny fraction of it and every other thing. That's why you see somebody in the exam hall is scratching his head. He wants to remember the answer, but he cannot because he left it to chance. You cannot afford to leave anything to chance, right? So um this is one of somebody I saw that was doing good academically as of when I was still struggling. Okay, so I found out that what he does was basically he was doing his rote, but one thing that he added to it was repetition. For the brain is made of chemicals. Okay, the brain is made of chemicals, lots of chemicals that are interacting together to form what we call the memory. Okay, the neurons, there's something called the neuronal pathway. The neurons that are formed are strengthened each time you come across an information. Let's say you heard that um, the mango fell down from the tree. You heard it today. Tomorrow, you hear it again. The mango fell down from the tree. You hear it again from your lecturer. The next day, your classmate said it. The mango fell down from the tree. You are more likely to remember it. Then the fourth day, you went to your textbook. You saw it again that the mango fell down from the tree. You are much more likely to remember that same thing. Okay? So this works. Repetition. Even if there's nothing else you learn from this thing, from what I'm saying, if you just repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again. See what this guy does. This guy called Joe. What he does was basically he's going to repeat everything that was taught in class. He's going to repeat it at least Hello? 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 Hi guys, sorry. My I'm trying to fix up my laptop. Okay, to continue this seminar. Well, I'm going to keep talking here. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me now. Just give me a minute. Something happened. Okay, so as I was saying, um, so I was talking about Joe, right? So basically, his method was to repeat everything over and over again, as I was showing on my screen. Just give
Good
me a
evening.
minute. I'll restart the live stream
Good
now. And
evening. Macron, good evening. Timer.
please mute your mic, though, please.
Live streaming is on.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Can you hear me now? We can hear you. Okay, so let me restart my screen sharing. I had a little technical glitch. Okay, so yeah, what he does was to repeat everything 10 to 15 times. It means that every single thing that he reads, he's going to try to read it 10 to 15 times again. Okay, and to be frank, that's a whole lot of work. That's a whole lot of work. But I give it to him. He was dedicated, but I didn't have that kind of patience. Okay, to be reading everything from for 10 to 15 times. But I wanted to achieve the same type of results that he was achieving. So how was I going to do it? That was what led me to what I call smart work. Okay, there's a difference between hard work and smart work. Um, the market woman, or maybe let me use the example of a barrel pusher. This guy is working very hard. Okay, he pushes barrel from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. Okay, and how much will he make in a day? But let me use an example. Somebody, let's say a banker goes to the bank, um, he sits down, he's not stressing himself at all, but he makes much more amount of money per day than this guy that is there that sweats more. This guy sweats more, but he's not making as much money. So in life, it's not all about hard work; it's about smart work. Okay, so let's get to the other part of this. So with that, I sought out to find a better method, which I call the max memory method. Okay, so Joe's method was difficult, time consuming, and you are going to be a triangular student because you will not have time for any other thing. All you have to do is just to stay in class, read, go to lectures, go home, sleep, eat, read, go to class. This is what you just this will just be the cycle of your life. You will not have friends, you will not socialize, you will not do other extracurricular activities. Okay. So, but I wanted the easier way, which was to find a method of remembering what I read that in such a way that I have to just read this thing once. Once I read it once, I'll remember it because I am applying some of the things I'm going to teach you, right? So I aim to study once and remember it for forever. Then to be able to recall quickly, to have information at my fingertips, okay, to be able to recall it quickly and understand any tough subject. And there's something I call mind mapping, okay, mind mapping. That is being able to visualize all the information and connect all of them together. Connect all of them together. If you're able to do this, then there is no subject, no matter how tough it is, that you cannot conquer. Okay, there's no subject that you cannot conquer if you are able to connect all the ideas together and link them all up. Okay, thank you. All right. So how do you apply the photographic memory? Okay, how do learn how to acquire the photographic memory? It's very simple. Photographic memory, first of all, means the ability to remember what you read or hear word for word, page by page. So when this happens, you can study once and remember it forever. Okay, study it once, or hear it once, or read it once, you remember it forever. And it will, when you are remembering it, it will happen so fast. It will be like you are a robot. Okay, you're a supercomputer that activates very quickly. Okay, so let's do an exercise. Let's do an exercise, a simple exercise to show you how photographic memory works. Okay, and I'm going to give you three rules of photographic memory. Three rules. The first thing is that you must have a clear image. You know the meaning of photography, right? Photography means to take a picture. To take a picture. Photography. Okay, to take a picture. So photographic memory means that you are taking a picture of what you are reading and you print it out the same way that you took it in, right? And that's basically how the memory works. Every single thing that goes into your mind will come out the same way that you put it in. So if I say think of a lion, when I say the word lion, can you type in the chat box what comes to your mind when I say think of a lion? Which other word comes to your mind? Can you type it in the chat? Which other word? If I say think of a lion, you're thinking of a lion, okay? A big lion, maybe that has this hair. You know this hair that lions have, this wide hair. I think that's the male lion, right? The male lion that has that big hair, okay, and is just majestically, walking very majestically, not afraid. Is willing to look you in the eyes. Which other word comes to your mind when I say think of a lion? Okay, somebody says fear. Think of fear. He thinks of fear, or he thinks of a king. Me, I also think of jungle. Okay, someone said fearless. Is it the energy drink that you're thinking of? Okay, so yeah, fearless is also something to think of. So the basic thing is that we don't all have to think of the same thing. We all think differently, and we all have our associations in our head, okay, in our mind, right? So what I'm trying to derive from this is the fact that any word that is mentioned to you, there is something else that is going to come to your mind whenever you think of that word. Okay, so bold and strong, boldness. Okay, yeah, they are all potential associations with the lion. Okay, and someone can also choose to think of the jungle when he thinks of the lion, right? So it means when you form a very clear image of this lion in your head, okay, let's say think of a lion that is playing football. Have you ever imagined the lion playing football before? Like before in your life, have you ever imagined a lion playing football? Now think of a lion playing football. Okay, that is a bold image. That's like an exaggerated image. That's an animation. Okay, and the mind likes those kind of images. The mind likes things that are exaggerated because the mind likes to remember things that are out of the ordinary. In fact, everybody remembers things that are out of the ordinary. Okay, we don't like to remember things that are common. If you're a musician or you're a singer or whatever, you're a social media enthusiast, and your content is just common, and anybody can produce the same type of content, it doesn't stand out, right? Until you can produce something that is uncommon, then you know. So that's the exercise I want us to do. Okay, and that's that's just going to show you the basics of photographic memory and really how it works. Anything you can form a very clear image. You know that they say that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, right? It's that same way. A video is worth more than 1,000 pictures. Okay, so anything that you can form a clear image of, and then two, if you can form a moving image of that same picture that you have, you will remember it. Don't even worry about it. You just remember it automatically. Okay, so let's get to the next one. We'll come back to the app to see how many of those stuff that we talked about that you remember. Okay, so so many people think that they are not smart, but let me show you that you are smarter than you think. Okay, you are smarter than you are far more smarter than you think. So there is the research that was carried out trying to quantify the amount of the brain, the amount of the brain that is being used by an average individual. Okay, so they found out that an average person uses less than 10% of their own brain capacity, less than 10%. So what now happens to the other parts of the brain, the 90% that is not being used by the average person? So it means that you still have a lot of your brain capacity that you are not even using. If you think, let's say now you are assuming that your brain is getting full, or maybe you are studying and you say, my brain don't dey full, oh, I don't know how I will take learn all these things or something like that. Your brain can never get full. It's limitless. Is limitless, as small as it appears to look like. Okay, the number of chemicals and channels that can be formed in your brain runs in the millions, in fact trillions. Okay, so it can never be full. That's the first myth about the brain. Okay, then there's also probably something that you are great at. Let me use football for example. For most guys, there are a lot of guys that are very enthusiastic about football. when you mention the name of any player, they will tell you the name, they will tell you the age, they will tell you the year that they bought the player, how much they bought the player, and which club bought the player, when the player is transferred, what goals that he scored in 1930, whatever, okay, at the so and so minutes. Okay, so they will tell you all these things, but when you come to academics, the same person cannot function the same way. Why? Okay, the simple reason is that he has not been able to, channel the same, brain capacity that he has towards other useful activities. And that's the reason some women are very good with entertainment. They'll be able to tell you what happened to this actress when she got married, how many children she has. These are all memory, because every single thing you are doing in your life, every single thing you are coming across, whether it's for play, whether it's for work, whether it's for academics, whether it's for your daily activities, they are all stored in your memory, right? So you are still using the same memory that you are using to study. You're still using it to do other things like entertainment, like gaming, like football. Okay, so if you can do well in those things, then you can do well in your academics as well. So then there are some so-called ordinary people that also later became geniuses, and I think some of them discovered some of these things. Like Albert Einstein, when he was, everybody has heard about him now because he's very popular. He's regarded as a genius, right? And the reason why he became a genius was because he discovered a lot of scientific theories and all that. But when he was young, he was like the kind of child that doesn't perform well in school, the kind of child that the teachers were sending home, that we are tired. They will send home and give a letter to the mother that we are tired of this of Einstein, of Albert. We are tired of Albert. He's not performing well, and we can no longer train him. Okay, you can continue to train him at home. And when Albert got home, he now asked his mother, "What is the content of that letter?" His mother told him that they said that you are too good for the school, so that we should train you at home. His mother lied to him, but that was a good lie, right? Because that lie, it was much years later when the mother has already passed on and he saw that letter and he now realized what was actually written in that letter. And he was thankful that his mother told him that lie, right? So that's some of the things. Like this guy now, let me use the Nigerian example. Charles Soludo is currently the governor of Anambra State, right? But he started from nothing, right? When he was in school, do you know this guy failed out of medical school? The same medical school where I finished. The same, in fact, it was UNN because I finished as the best in my class. He failed out of medical school, right? But when he got to economics, he came out with first class. He went for masters, came out with distinction. Then eventually from there he got into CBN, right? Where he now eventually became the CBN governor. So this is how really how it happens. When you are able to discover yourself, to discover what really works and start applying it to your studies, then you will get better. And people will marvel. People that knew you before will be like, ah, what happened? They will be surprised, they will be shocked. You go shock them. Okay, and that's really what you want. Okay, you want to shock people positively, not negatively. Let them, people that knew you before, now see you in the future and be like, ah, what happened? You don't change. Oh, wow, you don't make, you don't grow, you don't, all those type of positive talk. That's what you want to hear. Then some of the maths I've already mentioned that the brain can never get full. Then some people think that not everyone can be great, and I've told you that normally you're already doing things that appear as genius level, okay, in different forms, in different forms. And if you can just apply that same principle that you are using in that entertainment or gaming or whatever it is that you're already very special at, okay, if you can apply it in other aspects, then you will be completely good. So, and also know that nothing is by chance. You have to work for it. You have to you know plan it. Okay, and planning it is first learning how it works and starting to apply it. So these are some of the benefits of memory training. Improved academic performance, that's a given. Okay, you know you are going to improve your academics. Your relationships will improve. Like I gave an example of myself. I got married to someone I met in school. Okay, and the reason is because I'm able to combine my academics and my social life, right? And still perform well in both of them. Because some people, when the issue that some people have is that when they start combining their academics with their social life, they start, their grades will start dropping. And we had a case in school where somebody failed out because he was maybe having a girlfriend in school or something like that. Okay, so these are some of the things that you learn, and also you'll be able to make people happy. Imagine that you remember the birthdays of your friends. You When you meet people for the first time, you remember their name forever. Why? Because you have learned how to remember names through what we are teaching you, right? Then entertainment or gaming, like games like chess, games like word games, numbers games are very good because when you train your memory properly, you'll be able to perform better in them. Then you can also use this to learn a new language. Use it to learn a new language. I'm currently in the Middle East, and where I am, I had to learn a new language, and I learned it very easily. Like some of my colleagues that I came with, they are still struggling with it, but I learned it very easily because I know how to do it. Improved attention, improved focus and motivation. These are some of the benefits. And also improved mood. When your memory improves, your mood will improve. It's a scientific given. And also in your old age, you are less likely to suffer from diseases like dementia that you see some of the elderly people suffering. Okay? Science has proven that over and over again. So what I will teach you to remember, I will teach you to be able to remember your textbooks, your books, what you read for academics. I'll teach you to remember names and faces. When you see someone for the first time, you remember the person forever and you remember their names. Very important because when okay, you'll be able to remember the numbers without even trying too hard to remember it, right? And different aspects. You can apply this in all areas of your life, learning a new language, um, dates and anniversaries, okay, birthdays and all that. You can, let's say you are someone type of person who goes for public speeches. You want to give public speech and you don't want to be carrying paper like and be reading it like Buhari. That's not how to give a speech. Have you seen where Obama is giving a speech? Obama knows this stuff because for him to give a speech like that, you have to be able to give a speech from your head. And for you to give a speech from your head, you must be good with your memory, right? Spellings. Some people have difficulties with spellings. You cannot spell a word. The reason why you cannot spell that word is not because you are bad with English. It's because you know your memory of the word is not very specific. Your memory of that word is not very clear. That is why you are not able to spell the word. Once your memory of the word becomes very clear, you will spell the word even when they wake you up from sleep, right? So the same thing, even for games, for people that play card games and different types of games, word games, chess, your memory must be sharp. And if your memory is sharp, you'll be able to utilize it in those games, right? And a lot of different areas of your life. So imagine that you could achieve all the goals that you set out in your life, academic, career, relationship, life goals, and all of them tie up to your memory, right? All of them in one way or the other, they relate to your memory. This is a testimonial from someone that used my program. He said the program seriously was just what I needed. So I logged in to do the first three topics and I ended up doing almost all of them. and the recall exercise is really good. So this person is basically giving me feedback on how um, good the stuff was, because she was saying that she had a brain injury. She had an accident, and she was really trying to recover her memory. So with this, she was able to improve her memory and perform much better. So my aim is to help you in 5 to 7 days. Your memory will significantly, dramatically improve. Okay, you'll be able to read once and remember it, study faster, and gain more free time. Because when you study fast, the rest of the time is basically for Johnson. That's why when you are very good with your memory, when you understand these things that I'm saying, people will look at you and be like, "You are playing, you're playing," but they don't know that you have even gone further than them. That appear not to be playing. You will see someone sitting down in the reading room reading 247, but when the result come out, you perform far better than the person, because you know what you are doing. All right, so be able to recall what you read exactly, or what you heard exactly. You pass exams with distinction grade, and of course grow your academics. When you grow your academics, you grow your career. Everything ties in together. So um before that, let's go back to that game and see uh, how many you guys can remember. Let's use this one to cool off small. So so number one is what? You can type it. Sorry, I was not sharing. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I'm looking at. So this is our Max Memory app, and basically the essence of this app is to help you to train your memory after you finish going through the course. Okay, when you have understood the basics from all these things that we talked about, then you will be able to use this game now to like practice. When you practice over and over again with this game, you'll see how you improve your memory dramatically. So someone said the first one is what did you type? Corolla. Adebayo said Corolla. Others should attempt to only Adebayo. Okay. So what's number two? Okay, for those that started from the beginning anyway. What's number two? I don't remember what the second option was. If you don't remember, I'll skip it. What was the third? What was number three? Adebayo, you don't remember again. Okay, so we'll come back to that, to the game later. Oh, yeah, biscuits. Okay, we'll get back to it. Okay, so here is the contents of the 5 day brain training program. The first day, we are going to focus on um, the three M's, what I call the three M's. That's the motivation, the mindset, okay, motivation, and method. You have to, these are like each of them take one third of you know your studying, right? The mindset, what's your mindset? And I talked about it before. Then your motivation, what's your motivation for doing what you are doing? And the third one is your method. What's your method? Are you doing the hard work, or are you doing the smart work? And I suggest you do the smart work, and that's the method I'm going to teach you, right? So the purposes while you're studying, then the types and mechanism of memory. I'll teach you about mechanisms of memory, okay, the types of memory, and on the day two we'll be talking about how to bridge your long-term memory, your short-term memory, okay, to your long-term memory. Because when we talk about types of memory, we're talking about short-term, intermediate term, and long-term memory. Okay, so everything that you come across can either stay in your mind for, let's say, minutes, a few minutes, and that's short-term memory. So if you come across something, let's say someone told you his name, and the next 10 minutes you've forgotten the name, okay, that's short-term memory. It didn't just left. You got acquainted to it and it left immediately. That's short-term memory, right? But if that information is in your long-term memory, it means that you can remember it any day, anytime in your life, okay, any day in the future, or even years later, someone will ask you, what's the name of that guy you met on so so and so in so so and so place? You will tell them the name, right? Because your long-term memory is intact. So I'll teach you how to move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, okay, with advanced techniques, right? Effective mnemonics. Because some people use mnemonics and memory aids, but the issue is that eventually some people you start forgetting what the mnemonic is self. Like maybe you forgot what the mnemonic is, and then you forget what is the content of the mnemonic itself. Maybe you remember the mnemonic and you be like, what does this mnemonic even mean again? Okay, so that means that it's not an effective mnemonic. And if you use an effective mnemonic, you'll be able to remember. Then I also teach you speed reading techniques. Speed reading techniques. You need to read very fast.
Hello? Oh, Uh, hmm? Network 2000.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, network or the
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, all right. So I can proceed. Sorry about that. So, um, in case you are confused, once you click on my name, you can see what I'm projecting on the screen. Okay, you can click on what I'm projecting to see it. So this is a preview of the course of the brain training, max memory brain training course. Okay, so the curriculum, the entire curriculum is there. Alright. And we start with introduction,
Matuma Lonsenko. The network.
theories of memory, common memory techniques, memory
Number Victor.
starts, okay, and the genius level memory hacks that you can apply, speed reading techniques, study
Disease from
plan,
our previous result.
okay, that you can apply to your studies. Please mute your mic. Yeah. So the max study plan, then the live examples, okay, that we'll give you. Then the bonuses, we have bonuses, bonus apps, bonus music, bonus books, okay, that you can have access to. And all of them are there. And they are already pre-recorded. Pre-recorded. Let me open one and show you what it looks like. Let me show you. So pre-recorded lectures and slides, okay, of me talking about the genius memory, okay, and how to improve it. Okay. For example, this one is one of the memory hacks, and it's talking about association. So the beautiful thing is that genius can be hacked because most times we just okay. So yeah, that's that about that. Let me go back to the presentation. So I have over 10 powerful bonuses that I'm going to give you as well, together with the course, the full study course. Okay. So